All right, so what is DoubleStack? Well, DoubleStack is you and me working together in an 8-week in-depth mentoring program. And the outcome is you're building a solopreneur style web design business where you're generating up to about $10,000 per month. Now, if you want to take it beyond $10,000 per month, you certainly can do that. Like I can think of several DoubleStackers right now who are making like $250,000 a year, but that's going to require you to probably bring in a little bit of extra help, like outsourcing to some people, or just somehow getting a few more man hours into the mix to kind of get to that level, and maybe hire a couple employees or something. But that's the big idea. So how can you get to the point where you're generating an extra $10,000 per month with your web design and WordPress consulting business? And so then the question is, well, how does it work? So what do we actually do together? And we do a couple things. The big idea of what we're really doing is we're taking your business out of implementation mode and into transformation mode. And so what I mean by that is you stop trying to sell the implementation of technical services to your clients and instead make a move towards how you can actually help them. And the way that you help them oftentimes includes implementing the technical services that you have, but it's a mental shift, it's a mindset shift, it's a marketing shift, and ultimately the goal is how can you actually help and serve clients at a deeper level, and doing that on an ongoing basis as well. And so the big idea is you end up selling projects for like $3,000 to $10,000 to kind of build everything out, and that tends to take about a month or so of time to kind of put all that together. And then after you launch the site, you then have a monthly retainer in place for somewhere between $850 per month up to maybe $3,000 or $4,000 per month, and kind of a couple of ranges, a couple different options in that range. And so that's what the business like structure sort of comes together like. So then you think, okay, so how do we do it? And the two things that we focus on together are your tech stack and your business development / marketing stack. The tech stack is just, let's make sure that you feel really comfortable with the technical tools that you use to actually drive results. Because right now you probably can already build a great looking website, and that's probably not an issue. But what about like, driving traffic and sales funnels and landing pages, and just making sure that you're comfortable with a couple email marketing platforms and tools. And like, I'll show you like 20 different things that you could be doing after you launch the website to really make an impact for your client with your skills. And the first thing we do is we make sure that you feel really technically comfortable and confident in the skills required to drive results for your clients. And the reason we focus on that is because if you have those types of skills, then you can charge a lot more for your work, because you can show your client where the return on investment is coming from, and you get the retainer kind of baked into the mix right from the beginning, because the whole idea is, hey, the reason we're building all this stuff out is so that after we launch all these tools, we can then use them. And so, the concept of having that ongoing relationship is kind of just baked in to the mix right from the beginning. And so so the first thing we focus on is your tech stack. Then we move into focusing on the business development / marketing stack. And that is basically illustrated by the concept of, okay, so it's not too hard to put an email opt-in form on somebody's website. So that's not so bad. But how do you actually get them to give you their email address? Or if you're going to send emails, what do you actually say? And if you're going to build a landing page, what do you put on that? And, so there's a bunch of things that we do to really work together with regard to your marketing, both in terms of driving results for your clients, but also in terms of driving results for you. And so we really work on, like 5 different kinds of concepts together. Like first thing we do is we start to really look at your skill set. Like we take a look at what you're good at, what you're interested in, what markets you like to serve, and kind of lay out all the pieces on the table. And we figure out, okay, what is the most powerful version of you? And like, I'll help you with that. Like I'll help you, maybe kind of fill in the gaps with some of the technical skills you need to really feel like you have a very well-rounded, solid offering to make. And then we start developing marketing around that targets the clients that you want to reach out to in the industries that you'd like to be working in, with people that you have access to, like all of those types of things. So we actually put you in front of clients so that 2 big results come from the marketing. One, that as you attract leads, there are people who want you to do a lot of things for them. Like they want you to deploy a multi-skill set solution for them. So that means that they're asking you for a lot of things, and they're seeing you as high value. And that's one of the shifts that we make to make sure that people aren't just calling you up to fix a broken image on our slider or something like that, but instead they're calling you up to fix their broken business. And so that's what we work on the marketing, and then we create a pattern to to allow you to bring leadership and genuine integrity into your client meetings so that you don't have to have these discovery sessions where you're trying to just figure out what to do kind of off the top of your head, in which case nobody has any real confidence in that sort of a solution, and that's why nobody really invests anything. So instead of that, what we do is we say, hey, well, what can you do that's like 100 times better than just trying to have some kind of discovery session where you just start to figure out what to do kind of on the spot and actually lead your client into a level of success that goes far beyond that. And so we work on that, like the structure for your client meetings that enable you to bring leadership and to establish yourself as an expert that really can make a difference for them. So that's the thing. We work on writing proposals together. We work on pricing your services. So like you want to make sure that you're charging enough to be able to do the work that you need to do to drive these kinds of results. But you also don't want to, price yourself out of the market and lose projects to lower paying, low budget other alternatives. So those are some things that we work on. And so basically at the end of the day, what you do is you end up getting basically three things. You end up feeling really confident about the technical skills that you need to drive results for your clients. You get a marketing, you feel really great about your marketing so that you're actually attracting the right leads at the right price that want the kind of work that you can offer on that ongoing monthly basis. And that means you end up with a business structure that you can scale to about six figures, about $100,000, $120,000 per year, about $10,000 per month on your own before you have to begin to onboard any sort of, outsourced help, with whether it's subcontractors or hiring employees or whatever. And that's kind of the whole thing. That's the big idea. And the reason that it works so well is because so much more of your time is billable time, right? So there's two problems that people tend to fall into. One problem is they're constantly doing non-billable work all the time. And that could be both on the marketing side where you're trying to write proposals for free all the time, or you're trying to go to networking events or just find leads, or just kind of sitting around with nothing to do, hoping somebody calls, and all these hours are going by and you're not getting paid for any of them because it's non-billable stuff that you're doing, but yet it's still keeping you busy. The other problem that sometimes will happen is there's so much work that you're just working yourself to death, ridiculous number of hours, you're staying up till 3 a.m., but you're only making like $100. And so you just feel like you're getting burnt out. And obviously that's not sustainable either. So what we try to do is get you into a position where you're spending about 5 hours a day of billable work and 3 hours a day doing non-billable things. Because it's not realistic to think that 100% of your time can be billable. You're still going to have to, fiddle around in QuickBooks or pay taxes or send some emails or something. But it's also not realistic to think that, you can get by with, days and days going by without any billable hours and still be able to hit these kind of income goals. So we try to shoot at about 5 hours per day being billable time. And, an average hourly rate for most double stackers is about $85 an hour. And when you do that, what that means is you're making over $100,000 a year, about $120,000 per year with that kind of a structure. So then the big question is, well, what do we put in the hours? What do we charge for that? How do we attract the right clients? All of that kind of stuff. And that is exactly what DoubleStack is all about. But it's not for everybody. You have to be able to build a pretty decent website, right? So you don't have to be a coder. You don't have to write a lot of code. In fact, we don't really write any code in the DoubleStack program. And instead, we use platforms and plugins, and the tools are already there. The key is, well, what tools do we use? How do we combine them? And how do we deploy that into a specific market to make a big impact for people? And so that's the idea. So DoubleStack is going to be for you if you feel like that the pattern that we just laid out is something that you'd like to do. It would not be for you if you want to only just focus on the web design, which is fine. Some people just want to focus on building websites. They don't really want to have a lot of client interaction, and they're just kind of like the one and done kind of projects, like build a site, launch it, and then somebody else can do all the marketing. But if that's you, then this is not for you. This is for people who want to do both things at the same time, where the focus is on the business development. You're using your technical skills to kind of implement the things that you're working on or that you're consulting about. And you have these long-term, in-depth, really rich relationships with your clients on an ongoing basis. And so if that sounds like you, then I want you to book a call to talk to me, and I'll tell you if I feel like it's a good fit. So DoubleStack is an invitation-only program. The way to get in is to schedule a call, talk to me, and figure out if you feel like it's going to be right for you. And so I'll be totally open and honest about it. If I don't feel like you're ready for it, I'll tell you that. If I feel like it's a perfect fit, I'll tell you that too. And And so that's kind of the bottom line. So if this sounds like you, sounds like the kind of thing that you'd be interested in doing, then head over to doublestack.net/call, or you can kind of click the link or whatever to schedule a call. And we'll get on the phone for about 45 minutes and we'll dive deep into your business and figure out, well, what are the skills that you have? What are the interests that you have? What do you really want to be doing? Like, what are the goals that you have for your business? And then we'll put a step-by-step plan in place to figure out how we can hit that goal as fast as possible. And if you look on the homepage, you'll see a bunch of interviews with some of the other double stackers, and you'll see that, hey, some of these people are making like $25,000, $50,000 over the course of like 8 weeks. So you can make really, really fast progress because, I've been doing this for 17 years. One of the big things that we work on is like proposals together. So, download the proposal template, watch the video on how to do it, and then send it to me and we'll work on it together. And like, I oftentimes will spend hours kind of working back and forth with you on proposals. That's one of the big things. That way, when you finally get around to sharing the proposal with your client, you are hitting home runs on the first pitch, right? It's like you're having dramatic success right off the bat. So anyway, if that sounds like something that you'd like to do, then let's get on the phone and talk about it and see if it's going to be a good fit for you. So head over to doublestack.net/call, and I look forward to talking to you.